Hey guys, welcome to tonight's live video. I am Coach MJ with TriRight Coaching. I am actually in a different location tonight, so I'm hoping that you can hear. It's not too echoey. So if you're hopping in, please let me know if it's too echoey. I can move the microphone, but I thought it was important to be able to jump on and actually share with you a little more technical stuff, a little more hands-on of what you really need to do to get ready to ride outside. Hey Jim, hey Jennifer, hey Susan, hey Lisa, thanks guys. How's the sound? Am I too echoey? I considered not doing this video down here tonight because it's so open and echoey. Hey Susie, welcome. Recognize the place? Tonight, or not tonight, tomorrow night, we're doing an FTP test. So the bikes are kind of set up for tomorrow night. There will be some others, but some of them are already set up. Sounds fine. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jim. Hey, Maricela. Hey, Carrie. Awesome. Okay, it's fine. Cool. So thanks so much for hopping in. Here's the thing. When you ride all winter indoors on your trainer, please don't think that all you need to do is take your bike and hop outside when it's ready to go outside and carry. You don't even apply, girl, because I know you've been riding outside, but many of us here in the Midwest, we've been riding indoors since October, November, with a couple of days. We've had a couple of days of nice days weather-wise outside, but when you want to get ready to ride outside, there are definitely some things that you want to consider and want to take into planning, so to make sure that you have a good ride, a safe ride, and a comfortable ride. Hey Tom, hey Lewis, hey Mendy, hi Ivy, welcome guys. So I've changed the venue for tonight's video to the CompuTrainer studio, the indoor cycling studio, where we have CompuTrainers in here, but we're doing an FTP test tomorrow night, so you can see the bikes are kind of set up. And a lot of times we ride indoors and stuff like this and then turn around to go outside, and we don't take enough time to prepare ourselves, our bikes, our apparel to go right outside. So that's what this whole, hey Lilia, that's what this whole video is about. Hey Aunt, I have a hard time calling you Aunt Rogue, but you know who you are. Hey Ivy. Okay. So last week's winner, I just wanted to go back. Mark Becker, you are the winner of this book for training and racing with a power meter, Mark. So I know you just friend requested you. Please send me your mailing address. I'll send this book out to you. So that's that. This week, if you want to win this TriRight bottle, it's got some nutrition stuff. It's got some tire levers. Oh, and you know what I want to add in there? You know what I want to add in there this week is a tube. Not a tire, a tube. I'm going to add a tube into there. It's a 700. It's got a 80 millimeter stem, so it's good for pretty much everybody. So I'm going to add that in. If you want to win this water bottle with some nutrition information, or I shouldn't say information, it's nutrition product, and some tire levers and a tube, all you have to do is share this video with someone on your own timeline, or with someone you know that needs to take care of themselves or their bike before they go out for their first outdoor ride. All right? Cobb said, are you looking at my saddle? Stop. Hey Todd. Hey Marilyn. Yeah, well that's not, I didn't put the bike here. I'm getting grease all on my pants. I didn't put the bike here for that. I did it because I just want to, I want to show you guys something. And it's easier to show, and I'm hoping that this works. Janine, girl, I went today, look at that. Okay, they all started breaking, I had to do that. Sorry guys, I had to show the nails. That's all I'm all about. Hey Aaron. Hit share with friends now. It's on the bottom of the left screen. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. But that's how you're going to win. That's how you win the water bottle. And it's got some cool stuff in there. I can pack it up. I like to give stuff. I really do. Anyway, all right. So the very first thing you need to do, if you're getting ready to go right outside, maybe not this week because we're expecting snow, but if you're getting ready to go outside, the very first thing you need to do is make sure that your bike is in good working condition. And one of the problems, or I shouldn't say problem, but one of the things that we miss when going from a trainer to outside, guys, is that a lot of times, at least here on comp trainers, we don't shift. You better make sure your bike shifts. When you are indoors all winter, things start to wear out. Even if you're not shifting, you're starting to sweat down in the cables and stuff like that. You need to make sure the bike shifts. So the very first thing you want to do is to make sure, and this is going to be a little difficult, but pick your bike up, shift it. I mean, well, if you have a bike, a tool stand or whatever, shift it up, down, like make sure that it works. Oh, and okay, for newbies, not you experienced riders, but newbies, when you shift, you have to be pedaling. The bike does not shift if you're not pedaling. You can, if you sit there and you're not pedaling and you shift, it's not going to do anything. You have to be moving your feet and then pedal. You're pedaling and then shift, and then it will move. If it doesn't move, or if it does what's called ghost shifting, moves without you shifting, there's still some issues there. You might want to take your bike into a local bike shop. Here's the thing. I could show you guys how to do a whole bike spring tune-up. I did that last year. I could do it again if you guys want. Just let me know in the comments and I'll put something together, because you can do this on your own. It's not as hard as you think. Trust me, I'm not very mechanical. I'm not very technical, but I do my own tune-up on my own bike. So you want to make sure that, number one, that the bike shifts. Number two, make sure that the brakes work. How about that? You want to make sure that your brakes work. The last thing you want to do is go outside and be going down a hill, flying down, and your brakes are not working, or you did not re-engage them. So I'm going to try and show this again. Hey guys, okay, wait. This is really hard to show this, but I'm trying anyway. Okay, so I am greasing up my pants. So here we go. Here are my brakes. This is what this is my bike. This is the bike I ride on the trainer. But this is what my brakes look like when I'm on the trainer. I disengage them, because the last thing you want is your brakes to be rubbing on a trainer ride, because it's already hard. Okay? To engage the brakes. So when I want to go outside, I want to push this lever, guys, right here. If you push this down, now the brakes are engaged. Okay? And you want to make sure that your wheel spins, right? You want to make sure the wheel spins freely. If it does not, the brakes are rubbing. There's an issue. You want to take care of that. But when you're riding on a trainer, and any time someone comes into the studio here, I always take the brake lever, just disengage it, because you don't need brakes when you're indoors. But make sure that those things work. I asked like 6 people, what are the first 3 things that you would do when you're getting ready to go right outside? And the number one thing is to make sure that the bike is in good working order. And that means, number 1, it shifts. Number 2, it brakes. Either one of those things, you might want to you either need to do it yourself, or you need to take your bike into a shop and have a tune-up. And here's the cool thing. It's still chilly out here, at least in the Midwest. You have time to take the bike in and get it all fixed up and get the tune-up done, and it'll be ready before you are ready to ride outside. Hey, Annie. Hey, Todd. No brakes? Yeah. Fred Flintstone, stop. I have seen that done. It's not. If you don't want to have a bike stand, the tip of an ironing board works well. What? Aaron, you're going to have to demonstrate, because I'm getting older. I can't read. I'm a little too far away from the screen right now. But anyway, so number 1, make sure that the bike is in good working order. That's number 1 tip to get ready to go outside. Now, if you want to win, I'm going to go back to this. If you want to win this water bottle, it's got some nutrition in there. It's got some tire levers in there, and I'm going to throw in a 700 tube And guys, I ride 700s and 650s, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. But I'm gonna throw in some. I'm gonna throw in a tube. If you want to win this, all you have to do is share the video. Thank you. And then next week, before I go on, next week is the topic. Oh, you're gonna love this. Do you need a triathlon coach? I said it. Do you need a triathlon coach? And the giveaway for next week, because if you don't think you need one, I have a book for you. Triathloning for Ordinary Mortals. Okay, so this is the giveaway for next week. If you don't think you need a triathlon coach, I could tell you reasons why you do and you don't. It's all up to you. But anyway, all right. So let's go back. Number 2 thing. Hey Charlene, welcome. Hey Candace. Hey Shannon. Number 2. When getting ready to ride outside, you need to be aware and prepared for the weather, right? The thing is, especially here in the Midwest, we have, you know, some people, we have 4 seasons in 1 week. But here's what I would do. So you need to look at what the forecast is going to be, depending on what day you're going to ride. And again, weathermen are not always right. We all know that. But look at what you're going to do, and then I would go outside and do a similar activity to cycling. See how long it takes you to warm up. Because the last thing you want to do is to overdress. We're underdressed, right? Well, even overdressing might even be worse than underdressing. I have to admit that because I've done it myself because I'm always cold. But you want to make sure that you're wearing the proper clothes. And here's the number 1 thing I would recommend, and I know you guys have all heard this before, is to layer. Layer your stuff. And that way, when you start to warm up, because it might take you 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to warm up, once you do, the last thing you want is that sweat to start dripping down, right? It's dripping down. And now you're like, oh man. You start to take stuff off, you're going to freeze because you're already overheated. Okay, I have a really quick story I'm going to tell you about a race I did. Hey, Wesley. Hey, Mindy. Hey, Sig. Okay, share the video. Share the video if you want to win. Water bottle. It's got some nutrition in there. It's got tire levers, and I'm going to send a tube too. All you got to do is share the video, and I'm going to put your name in the raffle for that. Anyway, okay, so I'll tell you this really quick story. This is pretty cool. I did a race in Minnesota 1 year, and it was June. It was the first or second weekend in June. I don't really remember. And I went up there, and I didn't know what to expect because the weather was kind of all over the place. But I packed for everything. It's what I do, right? I drove, so we packed for everything. We got there, it was 52 degrees and rainy. And it was a half Ironman, and I was freaking out because I'm like, how am I gonna, I could swim because I have a wetsuit on, but how am I gonna ride in 52 degrees and rainy? First of all, rainy when I'm riding is scary in itself, but how am I gonna do this? So what I did was I laid out my stuff. I had gloves, I had arm warmers, I had a like Under Armour like shirt that I was gonna wear long sleeve under, and then I was gonna put my tri-top back on, and I was gonna wear leg warmers, like knee warmers, really not leg warmers. I'm not gonna pull that much on, and toe covers, and then I took all that stuff and I covered it all with a big garbage bag because I didn't want it to get wet. It was raining. I didn't want it to get wet because if it's wet and then I have to put it on, first of all, it's hard to put on. Secondly, it's already cold. And so we got in, we raced, or we started the swim, and the water was 72, so the water was gorgeous. And we got out, and I was freezing, and I get to my transition area, and I pull off the garbage bag to go start putting on my stuff, and I see a girl riding out transition before me. No. I foregone all that stuff. I was like, nah, I'm just going to freeze. I put my helmet on and my bike shoes, and I took off. And I was cold. And I was cold probably for the first 15 or 20 miles. Still ended up being a really, really, really great bike ride for me. I won that race, won it. But I was ready. I was so scared. I was so ready to put all those clothes on. So my moral of the story is, you don't need to put all those things on, because after you start working and you start riding, you're going to warm up. So in running, I always use the analogy, dress for like it's 15 degrees warmer than it really is. So like if it's 40, dress like it's 55 and you should be okay. For biking, it's a little different because there's wind. There's a wind factor. You're going faster on a bike than you are in running. So my recommendation would be to layer, so that you can, especially in a training ride, like in a race, I don't have time to stop and take off layers. But in a training ride, make sure that you have time to, you have time. Make sure that you are able to stop and take off layers, whether it be a long sleeve or a vest or a hat or some gloves. And make sure that you have a place to put that stuff, unless you want to ditch it, lose it, or come back to it later. So that would be what I would say. Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. Hey, Matt. Hey, Marcin. Welcome, guys. Thanks for hopping in. Okay, so that was number 2. Number 3, and this one is just important, you guys. Depending on whether you're going to ride with someone or or if you're going to ride alone, especially for the first few rides out of the season, because you don't know what you're capable of doing. You don't know what the weather's like. It's, it's like every year I have to learn the whole stuff everything over again. It's like I forgot what I wear. I forgot how to do it. Every year, it's like you're rusty. So anyway, what I would recommend, let's just say that you want to do 40 miles your first ride out. Instead of just going 20 miles out and 20 miles back, or doing a 140-mile loop, I might recommend doing 4 10-mile loops. That way, if something happens, you're back to your car, you're back to your home, you can dress differently, you can refuel, you can do whatever. I would recommend cutting it shorter, cutting it closer to your home or your vehicle, so that if you do run into trouble, that you can get yourself out of it, right? If you're with a partner, kind of the same thing, because you're both kind of new, or I shouldn't say new to this season, right? The other thing I would do is make sure you map out your route. Don't just go out and ride and be like, oh, I'll just make it up as I go. No, know the route. Drive it maybe in your car, because here's the other thing, guys, especially here in the Midwest, some of the roads get torn up over the winter. This winter has been really mild. We've been kind of lucky, because once they have snow, and then they put ice, and then they get the plow trucks out. There are potholes all over, and it's unsafe. It's unsafe. Sometimes you have to ride in the middle of the street. It's not good. Anyway, you just want to make sure that you know your route, that you plan it out before you actually go out there. Don't just think that, oh, it's the same as last year. I've been doing this route for years. I'm just going to go and do the same roads. You don't know what those roads look like anymore. You want to go out and plan that out. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Carlo. Hey, Michael. Well, dude, when are you coming back to the pool, man? Miss ya. All right. So that's those are my biggest 3 tips. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you. I have a bonus. I always have a bonus. If you want to download a cool checklist for what you need to do when you want to go and ride outdoors, all you have to do is go to TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. You're going to get directed to a PDF that I made for you that talks about all the things I talked about today, because I didn't have a whiteboard that you can write it down. You're going to get directed to this PDF. Take it, print it, laminate it, do whatever you need to do, bring it with you, just refer to it anytime, any year that you're going to go out and start riding again. It's something that you want to review every time you go out. It's like when I go to a race, I don't ever just go. I have a checklist. I go through everything I'm supposed to do. So what I created for you guys was a list of things that you need to check before you go out and do your outdoor ride. Lilia, is there a guide to read about the rules? Rules? What rules? Are you talking about race rules? We're not talking about racing today. So yes, there are rules. I don't have them tonight. Hey, Jackie. Welcome. Thanks for hopping in. Okay, if you guys want to win this water bottle. It's got some nutrition nutrition products in there. It's also got some tire levers. You can see them in there. And then I'm gonna include a tube, a 700 tube with an 80 millimeter stem. If you don't know what that is, keep watching my videos. I'm gonna show you all that stuff. But all you have to do to get this is to share the video. And then next week, do you need a triathlon coach? I know, that's a topic near and dear to my heart, right? Do you need a triathlon coach? And if you think that you don't, I'm gonna give away this book, Triathloning for Ordinary Mortals. If you think that you can train off of a book and that's the way you want to do it, totally cool with me. I'm gonna send this out to somebody next week. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? Road rules. Oh yeah, Lilia, actually, well, they're kind of unwritten, but yeah, there are rules. I mean, about drafting and covering up the streets and all that kind of stuff. That's something that I cover in kind of an intro to cycling course that I do. I haven't done it in a couple years, but maybe I should do that because there are a couple groups locally that have had some big accidents. Some people have had some big injuries because you know why? They're doing it wrong. They're riding improperly and they're dangerous. They're dangerous to themselves. They're dangerous to cars on the road. So maybe I'll do that. But anyway, I will get back to you on that. Great question. What other questions do you guys have before I hop off for the night? Because it's Sunday night. How do you guys like the studio? It's not full with bikes yet, but yeah, tomorrow night is an FTP test. If you don't know what that is, PM me, and I'll explain that to you. Hey, Renee. I thought you'd be sleeping by now with all the guests you had at home and stuff like that. But anyway, so there are your 3 things, guys. If you want a free checklist of what you need to do before you go outdoor riding, all you have to do, again, is go to, can someone type it in for me in the comments? TriRightCoaching.com/bonus. Anyone? Bueller? I know there's a delay on Facebook, so if someone could type in, can you give your phone number to someone who's interested? Yes, Aunt, yes you can, of course. FTP, nice. Hey, Beto, come test, man. Are you available tomorrow night? Come test. I got a spot for you. Can someone please type in the comments? TriRightCoaching.com shut up, /bonus. Thank you, Lisa. There you go. If you want to just get this checklist, just download it on your own. Just keep it handy anytime you want to go right outside and make sure that you have everything you need to have. That would be great. Make sure that you're prepared. I appreciate you guys typing that in. Hey, Terry, thanks so much for hopping in. All right, guys, thanks so much for hopping in. I will be back next week to talk about, do you really need a triathlon coach? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. You can win next week this book, Triathloning for Ordinary Mortals. I'm going to be giving that away. And this week, all you have to do to win this week's giveaway, which is a water bottle with some nutrition inside, some tire levers, and I'm going to throw in a tube, just in case, if and when you have a flat tire, that you have a spare. All you have to do is share this video. You'll be entered in, and I pick, even if you're watching me on the replay, I don't pick the winner until about an hour or two before I go live next Sunday here, 7 p.m. Central Time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I go back and read everything, right? Everything. And I will see you next Sunday night. Thanks so much. Have a great training week.